Let's go. Let's go, Guy. Nice, come on. Come on, Guy. Come on, come on. Try hard. Come on. Come on, Kinder, let's see it. Oh, yes, nice. Come on. Come on, try hard. Come on, come on. Go, go. Come on. Come on. Oh, oh my God, what? Go. Ah, yes, no. Come on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Come on, come on. Come on. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, 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 yeah. Nice. Sick. So, on our way back to Ontario from Montreal, we stopped at Kingston for our session at Boiler Room. And it was funny, actually. I didn't know the Guy and Kinder were in town, and I went to the gym, and one of the desk staff told me, well, he asked if I was joining in the simulation that they had just set. And I was confused. I said, what simulation? And he said that Guy and Kinder were coming to the gym in about an hour to do a simulation on these 4 new boulders. And I had no idea that was happening. I didn't know that Guy and Kinder were in town. So since that, like, I'm obviously driving home from Montreal, I kind of have to stick to a schedule or I'll get home way too late. So they were coming in about like an hour and a half, so I couldn't actually wait that long until they got there. So I had to start my session before they got to the gym, which was kind of unfortunate. It would have been cool to climb with them. So I was actually climbing before they got there. I just had the session on these boulders. I didn't do a simulation. I didn't really have enough skin or energy to like give a proper simulation. So I just had a regular session on them. And this is the first boulder I was doing. You can see Guy and Kinder trying it earlier in the video. They did a mock comp on these boulders, and all these boulders were really hard. So I just ended up actually staying and hanging out with them while they did their mock comp. I was their timer guy and their little mini crowd. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was cool watching them do a mock comp on the boulders after I was trying them. So I started with that first boulder because it looked like my style, and I thought I could do it pretty quickly, so I could have more time to do these other ones. And I did the first one on my second go, and then I moved on to this one on the left here, which had this cool first move. Start hold's pretty bad, so you have to keep the tension with the toe hook and then stab your foot out really quick with trying to like not shift your weight too much around on the sloper. And then the next move is also quite hard. This crimp that you have to bump to is super sharp. And if you remember that boulder I was trying a couple days ago at Block Shop with that razor crimp, my finger had a nice slice in it already. And so I was having a real hard time holding this hold. I was just wincing every attempt I was grabbing it. And then I got to the point where my body just started rejecting this hold and I started to fall on this bump move again. But yeah, this move afterwards, this little crimp on the grade volume, is super slopey and bad, and I was having a hard time just being able to pull off of it to get to this next hold. You can see it's really hard for me to get this high foot here. Maybe I should have been doing the toe as well. The heel was probably a bad idea. The next hold was like even worse, so the ending of that boulder felt a little bit beyond me, at least in that session. So I moved on. It's interesting when I do these style of sessions where I only have like an hour to try out these 4 new boulders. It almost feels like I'm going in and doing a scramble competition, which is actually sometimes it's good practice because like especially with the North American Cups, they're usually like a modified scramble format where you have 6 boulders and it's still kind of like you get an hour and a half to go try these 6 boulders and see how many you can do. So it actually kind of practices the format a bit. It's not necessarily the most ideal if you're trying to project at your max limit and you're trying to really like do max effort boulders, because I'm kind of, when I'm climbing with these sessions, I have a very fast pace and I don't rest a whole lot. Like my goal is to go and send all of these 4 boulders in the hour. These boulders turned out to be really hard, and this next one I was trying was, actually no, it wasn't the hardest. I think the last one was the hardest, but this move here in the middle, this left hand is really bad. I was trying a bunch of different things with my right foot to try and do this next move. This try here, I think, ended up being my closest. I just could, like, every time I went to the crimp, I would do this helicopter spin because the left foot was too low and the left hand was too bad. But then this one try, I don't know, I found like some position with my hips that felt quite good, and then my foot slips at the last second, and I thought I had that move locked in, but yeah, I kind of slipped in the end, and then I just started struggling even more, and the attempt started getting worse. And so I was 1 for 3 so far, and with 1 boulder left. So this next boulder, obviously it kind of looks like it should be a double clutch paddle. It looks like you're supposed to jump out of this position and go 2 hands here and then paddle again and then kick your foot to the wall. But on this first try, as soon as I felt the paddle hold, it was super slopey. Like it's kind of deceiving in the video here. It's a lot slippier than it looks, and you can't even really generate off of it again. So I kind of ruled it out immediately, and I started trying some other beta. I wonder if it was supposed to be set like that and it just ended up turning out to be way harder than it was expected, or if this sequence that I found here is actually what they might have been looking for. I have this toe hook here, and I kind of do a mixture of a hand flip and the toe hook slows the swing down. It ended up being pretty cool. And then I do a bit of a campus paddle out of it. And this ending was really hard. My skin was, it's so far in the program, like out of all these weeks, I haven't had pink skin at all. But after like climbing at so many gyms in Montreal and even just these last 3 boulders, at this point my skin was really pink, and it's really pink right now. And so I'm like slipping around these holes, my hands are sweating. I'm getting pumped too. I spend a lot of time in this position. And here you can see, I want my foot on the start hold, but I'm standing up here and the hole is like so far down. I'm looking at it like I want to step on it. And so I realize like I'm starting to pump out on this try, so I just drop off and I'll save it for the next one. And yeah, like what a nice surprise. When I was going into this session at Boulder Room, I had like the 2 whites that I didn't finish in the last time, which I only had kind of like a move left on each to link. So I was like, and then obviously some blacks that I didn't try. So I thought it would just kind of be like a chill session, kind of just finishing off a couple boulders and doing some moderates, but it ended up being like a super intense session that I wasn't actually ready for. I wasn't ready to try this hard, but it was a nice little surprise. I got a really good session in. And then so this is my last try on this boulder, my best attempt. And I like sneak the foot as low as I can go, and I finally get it down there, but I was like so pumped and out of skin at this point that I didn't have any gas left in the tank. But some really good boulders for this session. So after driving for another 3 hours after our session in Kingston, I was pretty gassed, but I finally made it to Climbers Rock, my home gym, just about half an hour outside of Toronto in Burlington, and for the workout. I was quite tired from driving 3 hours, and then a super intense session in Kingston, and then hanging out with the MCNAMEEs for a couple hours, who at this point were headed off to Europe for the Prague and Brixton World Cup, so good luck to them. At this time, like the comp's in about a week. And then I got back in the car and drove for another 3 hours. So I was expecting a hard workout, but hangs were the best they've been so far. I don't think I set a PB honestly on with these hangs. One of the sets I was able to do 12.5 pounds for like a good 3-4 seconds. So that was pretty nice. And I think I only did that for one set, and then I was kind of switching between 10 pounds and 7.5 pounds for the other sets, but overall it was my heaviest hangboard workout in total, which was really nice. Pinches are really just sucking in this program so far. I had a couple good sessions near the beginning, but yeah, especially when I'm doing just these 6 reps and with lots of rest in between, I should be at 75 pounds right now. And today, it wasn't as bad as the last couple sessions when I was working at a block shop. 67.5 isn't terrible, but this is where I should be progressing with my weight. And that's what I'm like in every other exercise in the workout. Basically, my weight is being pushed, except pinch block. And it was pretty terrible today actually as well, because pink tips with pinch block is a nightmare. It really sucks. You can just feel it slipping through your fingers and it's painful. I felt actually kind of strong-ish while I was doing the pinch today, but yeah, the fingertips were really making it hard. And 67.5, it was fine, it was meh, but not super psyched on how my pinching strength has been over the past couple weeks. Maybe I can squeak in a couple good sessions before Vail just to kind of get some confidence going. So now our last half of the workout is really starting to get fun. We're going on to 1 rep and we're doing 3 sets of each exercise. So this is where I'm gonna really be trying to push my PBs. I'm not exactly trying to PB yet because it's still 3 sets. I think I have my last workout, I'm just gonna be doing 1 rep, 1 set. And so I'll really just try to see where my max load for all these exercises is gonna be. So I was doing, my one arms were 25 pounds a day. And honestly, I was thinking about it too, and it felt hard, but I did it pretty comfortably. And obviously I kind of jumped up by quite a bit. I think I was doing 15 pounds for 2 reps. So I jumped up to 25, which is a big jump. I usually don't jump that big, but I hadn't failed a single rep in my program yet with my one arm. So I thought I could afford to push it. And I realized when I was thinking about it, I actually haven't really tried to set a PB with my one arm pull-ups. My previous PB is a 35 pound one arm chin, but that's quite different than pull-up, because pull-up kind of requires a bit of stability as well to keep yourself from spinning. Like when you're doing a chin, it's just all in the bicep, and you especially when you're doing a ring, you're just focusing on contracting this muscle. Whereas a pull-up kind of takes a bit more strength to keep yourself from spinning all the way around. So this is I noticed on a couple of the other sets, I didn't really complete the rep, and it was because I realized I haven't really pushed my one arm pull up this heavy before. So I think this is actually new territory, which I didn't realize. Honestly, even 15 pounds is kind of new territory for my pull ups. Oh, here you can see I really beat my legs up in Kingston on the last boulder there. But yeah, so I actually realized this is new territory. So my one arm pull up is at 25 pounds right now. So that's feeling pretty good. And then jump squats, I actually kind of had a cramp while I was warming up for them. If you could see, I was shaking my leg around, but it was fine. It felt okay when I did my weighted rep. No injury, just a bit of a cramp. And then I did a 90 pound dip today, which is a PB. 85 was the heaviest I'd done before, but it felt quite easy during the session. I could have gone probably a bit heavier. I did all 3 sets of 90 though. But maybe I want to get a 100 pound dip for the comps coming up. That'd be pretty cool. 40 pounds for the pistol squat. This felt pretty challenging, but again, I could also probably go heavier. But yeah, I'm setting a few PBs in this workout, which I actually didn't realize until I thought about it later, which is pretty fun. And speaking of PBs, I have never done a 100 pound military press with 250 pound dumbbells. I I've actually like attempted this a few times off camera in previous workouts to like when I'm like sussing up my weights. I tried to do this a couple times at 2 reps, and I felt I couldn't even begin the military press, like it didn't budge. And so I got really psyched, and I gave it a proper like big effort today. I warmed up my military press quite a lot, and I was able to do the last set was the first set I did, and I got it. It was really hard, but I was psyched to set that PB. And then you can see my last 2 sets I actually don't get the rep, and in the video you can see that one of my arms looks like it can do the rep, and I think it could have, but I think it was my right arm was failing and it couldn't do it. So what is pretty exciting as well is we are at the point where the end of this program is in sight. Tomorrow we have a rest day, and then we have a 2-day training block followed by another rest day, and then 1 day of training followed by another rest day where I fly to the US, and then we have the Jackalope event, which is 2 days, rest day, and then 2 short days of climbing in a row followed by another rest day, and then the Vail North American Cup to finish everything off. So yeah, like we're gonna be putting all this training to the test soon. We have 2 big events in the US. I'm pretty excited. And then also I'm gonna make just a small adjustment to the plan right now. Tomorrow we were supposed to do our 2 boulder sessions. I was gonna do one at a session 2 sessions in Toronto at 2 different gyms, but my skin has been really pink in the last few days, and like it's really hurting right now. Not quite on the edge of bleeding yet, but I realized like the events are really creeping up on me faster than I thought. We're only a week out from Jackalope, and I can't be having pink tips right now. So I'm going to not do a double session. I'm just gonna cut one of my sessions off and just do 1 climbing session. And I'm not gonna do it at one of the Toronto gyms because their holds are a little bit more fresh than ours at Climbers Rock. So I'm gonna just do 1 session at Climbers Rock on some nice old holds that won't damage my skin and preserve it for the next week. But yeah, I'll get some footage of the competitions for sure, and we can see all this training being put to the test. Should be exciting.